Chapter 17. 2 weeks later, Alpha Kevin, Carmela's partner, stands opposite me as we witness her being laid to rest in the rogue cemetery. Zelda and Margaret stand close by. Margaret's mother has kindly agreed to look after our children back at the hotel. The attendance is sparse, just 4 individuals and the tow truck driver, along with her lawyer. I do my best to avoid making eye contact with the man accountable for her demise. We all share memories of Carmela, but her mate remains silent. I wonder what thoughts are occupying his mind. Does he harbor the same self-loathing as I do towards him? The thought of him inflicting torment upon such a remarkable woman over countless years fills me with rage. The coroner concluded that she succumbed to organ failure triggered by the mate bond. No other health issues or explanations were found. It infuriates me that he remains healthy and alive simply because he's an alpha male, while Carmela is dead solely because she remained unmarked and female. It feels fundamentally unjust that women perish due to neglect of the mate bond. It terrifies me because my own health is already deteriorating, and if I'm not cautious, I could meet the same fate. When we received the coroner's report, Margaret and Zelda expressed their worries too, suggesting that I should just mark and mate someone to avoid ending up like Carmela. The discussion about her death had been excruciating. The coroner appeared stunned, mentioning that he had only encountered 2 similar cases before, as most people typically bond with their mates. He also inquired whether we knew who Carmela's mate was so he could notify them. Kevin, Carmela's mate and Brian's father, claimed he had no knowledge, shooting me a warning glance in the office, signaling me to keep quiet. It was clear he had seen me catching him sneaking in and out of the hotel like a thief in the night. I couldn't comprehend why he bothered showing up that day if he wasn't even going to acknowledge Carmela as his mate. How did he justify his presence there? As the coroner seemed unconvinced by whatever excuse Kevin provided, I couldn't help but notice. Surprisingly, I found myself listed as Carmela's next of kin, a revelation that shocked me but also brought a sense of relief, knowing I might finally get some answers. Pushing aside the unsettling thoughts, I focus on the priest's words. After the service concludes, Kevin engages in conversation with the lawyer while I observe briefly before pivoting on my heel to follow Margaret back to her car. "Jane? Which one of you girls is Jane?" A deep voice resonates. We all halt, turning to face the impeccably dressed man. He appears older, around Kevin's age. Kevin's expression remains stern as he trails after the lawyer, who hastens toward us. "I am," I reply. The man pauses, extending his hand towards me. I reciprocate the handshake as he catches his breath. "My name is Jacob. I am Carmela's lawyer. Do you mind if I speak to you for a minute?" he asks, gesturing towards a picnic table nestled under the trees by the parking lot. Yeah, sure," I reply, curious about his intentions. "We'll wait for you at the car, Jane," Margaret calls out, and I nod, waving at her as I follow Jacob to the table. He settles onto the bench, retrieving a pair of glasses from his suit jacket before rummaging through his briefcase. Kevin joins us, his expression filled with suspicion. "Why the girl? What does she have to do with anything?" Kevin interjects. "Please, Alpha Kevin, just wait. I will explain. About 7 months ago, Carmela visited me to update her will," Jacob explains. My brows furrow as I exchange a glance with Kevin, who glares back at me. Here it is. This is her current will." "This is for you," Jacob says, handing me an envelope. I recognize Carmela's handwriting on the front, which reads, "For Jane." I nod in acknowledgement, assuming our conversation is over, and begin to rise from my seat. "Thank you," I begin to say, preparing to depart. "Jane, I am not finished." Carmela was very insistent and went to a lot of trouble to ensure her will could not be contested or altered. Jacob interrupts, directing his gaze towards Kevin. "I'm not quite following," I admit, puzzled. Jacob offers a sad smile before adjusting his tie, casting a wary glance at Alpha Kevin. "I've known Carmela for 25 years and considered her a dear friend, and I'm aware of your relationship with her, Kevin." Kevin emits a low growl, but Jacob raises a finger, boldly standing up to him. It's evident that Jacob truly cared for Carmela. "I've signed a non-disclosure agreement to keep that information private." Carmela saw to that. However, since Jane here is already aware of your connection to Carmela, I haven't violated that agreement, nor do I intend to. But that's why I must caution you, Kevin. Carmela has implemented safeguards. If you oppose Jane, if you contest this will I have here, it will become public knowledge that the Blood Alpha's father allowed his mate to perish due to her status. Contest what? I blurt out, a sudden realization hitting me like a ton of bricks. My throat tightens with disbelief. Was this despicable man really planning to pursue Carmela's assets after the way he treated her? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Status? I loved her, Kevin protests, his anger evident in his narrowed eyes. Obviously not enough to see past her Omega status, I retort before I can restrain myself, my hands trembling with fury. Don't pretend to know me, girl, Kevin growls. I don't need to know you, nor do I want to, Kevin. Your actions speak volumes about your character, I declare, ignoring his growl as I turn back to Jacob. What does this have to do with me? I inquire. Well, I need you to sign some documents, Jacob responds. What kind of documents? I press further. Carmela left everything to you and your son Valentin. Everything, Jane. The hotel, resorts, her bank accounts, her family's wealth, a substantial amount, now belongs to you, Jacob discloses. I swallow hard, lifting my gaze to the canopy of the tree above, fighting back tears. Carmela was a very affluent woman, Jane, and everything is now in your possession, Jacob reiterates, and I sniffle. Kevin's growl reverberates as he slams his fist onto the table. Jacob startles as Kevin abruptly rises, storming off toward his car. I watch him go, then turn back to face the lawyer. Don't worry about him, Jane. This is what Carmela wanted, and I've known Kevin for a long time. He won't risk his reputation by contesting this. So, what I need from you are some signatures, ID, and your bank account details, Jacob assures me, offering a pen. I accept it, and he directs me where to sign. Once I'm finished, he hands me the deed to the hotel. You've just become the new owner of Cagayan Parkview Hotel. I look forward to seeing you achieve great things, Jane. Carmela spoke highly of you and her grandson. Jacob concludes with a warm smile. I'm about to voice my thoughts, searching for Kevin, but he's vanished, and Jacob gestures for me to keep quiet. The secret's safe with me, Jane. Carmela was a deeply troubled woman when I first met her. In the past year, I've never seen her happier. You and Valentin brought her that happiness, he reveals, rising to his feet. I shake his hand gratefully. I'll bring over some additional paperwork during the week, he adds before departing. I watch him go before glancing down at the deed and the envelope in my hand. Thank you, I murmur softly, hoping somehow Carmela can hear me wherever she is. Carmela has secured Valentin's future, and I could never express enough gratitude for what she's bestowed upon us. But if it meant having her back, I'd trade it all in an instant.